Do you know what a bait and switch is? Bait and switch is when you use a kernel of truth and a whole lot of lies to deceive somebody else. Most commonly used in advertising. But there has been a bait and switch in the United States very recently, and I'm sure most people didn't even notice it happened. The bait was anti-Semitism. Going after the universities that have been funded heavily by Qatar, and are influencing the citizens of the United States to be anti-Semitic and to support terrorism. That's a bad thing. So anti-Semitism was the bait. It was a legitimate issue that the universities in the United States and Canada and UK and Europe all have to address. However, the bait is also used to minimalize it. Because as soon as everyone went, well, okay, yeah, anti-Semitism, there's been a lot of that on the college campuses, we'll reluctantly admit it. And then he said, and then we want to get rid of the DEI, and we want to get rid of all of the green projects. Basically, anti-Semitism got thrown in with all of the stuff, the liberal crap, that people in conservative circles loathe. And since the left is already being blatantly anti-Semitic, it didn't care about anti-Semitism. Now, why is this a problem? Well, in several ways. Empathy is a sin, according to Christian nationalists. See, now, much like Putin saying that the blooded felon was being overly emotional about what's going on in Ukraine, and incidentally, Europe, the Nazis, they claimed that Jews were a foreign race come to invade Europe. Hamas and the Islamic terrorists claim that Jews are a European religion that have come to colonize the Middle East. There's a slight problem with those two things. They don't really jive, do they? No, they don't. Because neither of them are correct. And as we have things like this where now Judeo-Christianity, which for 2,000 years has said Jews are to blame for the killing of our God, or our God's son. And as I've pointed out before, twice in 50 years by a couple of popes saying, don't say that, that's not nice, isn't enough to undo 2,000 years of indoctrinating to the point where it is legitimately a fear for me that this is now in the DNA of anyone who does not have just at least a trace of Jewish blood in them. Anti-Semitism has been around so long. If it was any other topic, no one would question that it could be racial memory by now. But because it is such a common thing to fall back on the Jews to blame them, just going to keep doing it.